Hey guys, I want to share with you why I'm in trouble here with the chief when I return on the Eric McNeil Be Free show.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey guys, welcome. You've just discovered the Eric McNeil Be Free show, where it's all about being financially independent, responsible for self, enjoying life, and empowering others. So today, I'm just actually right outside of my property, going up the neighbors. I'm going up the neighbors, I don't know what you call it, but this is where they had a road put in, but it's not much of a road because none of the vehicles can make it up this road. Their vehicle can't make it up the road. None of the delivery vehicles can make it up the road. So nobody's trying to come up this road. I think one vehicle has been able to successfully maneuver this road, one truck, but nobody else. And so they're stuck with dropping gravel and sand at the bottom, and then they're having to put it in the bag and manually tote it up. And this is not a short road. So it's causing them a lot of frustration, and you know, and I knew that wasn't gonna work. We were telling them from day one that wasn't gonna work, right? So you see how you get involved in this poor planning, and it's all because the chiefs don't want to put a proper road in, right? You don't just come straight up when you have this, you own a mountain and you just trying to come straight up. You know, you have to give up some land so that you can go around and come up gradually. But they don't want to give up the land, so they're selling people properties and then just tell them, oh, you just go straight up. You know, it's, man, come on, the angle is too steep. You're not, you know, so it's just creating a big mess, you know. So so this couple did it, you know, and then the people over there, they put a couple roads in, and when they saw that the roads were not maneuverable, they haven't even come back to try and fix there. They just let the everything grow back over it, you know. And these guys, I think they bought the bulldozer out a second time, and it's not going to work, right? Because what has to happen is you have to get this angle low enough that you almost have to put retaining walls on the side so that you can get the angle low enough. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, you know, for them to fix this. So, you know, my heart is you know, I'm just feeling. But anyway, that's not what I'm want to discuss today. You know, that's just a side note. I'm going to continue to walk up here. What I want to discuss is that you know, if you looked at one of my last videos out where I was talking about burning of the charcoal, and I'll put the link up here, but you remember me saying that, you know, I was going to have a talk with the chief because he had his people burning charcoals and you know, all the smoke flying in my house. So, and I did talk to the chief, and they stopped, you know. So I give them credit, you know, they stopped burning the charcoal over there. And but guys, listen, I got on the bad side of the chief, I suppose. You know, I don't like to make assumptions, you know. Now let me just start here. Like, I don't like to make assumptions like, you know, this happened because of this. But you know, I was asked to sit down and witness somebody, you know, one of my friends who's about to get his indenture signed by the chief. Had to give him the indenture paperwork, and the chiefs have to sign that indenture, you know. And he only has an acre or so, and so I said, no problem, you know. So I'm there, and he gives the chief the documents, and now normally it's customary to pay a little something when, you know, you have to give your documents to the chief, you know, almost like a closing cost. Informal, you pay a little something, and it depends on the number of acres. And so, you know, 1 acre is what he had, but the chief asked him for, like, I don't know, 3,500 something cities to have these documents signed. And I was like, whoa. It's like, no, no. So the chief didn't take too kind, and I guess he's not the chief. He's the second in charge. I can't pronounce the word that they call it. It's not the head chief, but the second, like almost the president or something, the Kiyodahime or something it's pronounced. But that's what he is. So he's like the under chief. But he didn't take too kind to me telling him that. And I told him that's wrong. You're going to charge this kind of money to get a document signed. Like, the chief has to sign the document. He has to sign the document. And then they need like 3 witnesses to sign the document. So what he told my friend is that those other people who have to sign the document, they're gonna take 500. I'm gonna give them 500, and I'm gonna take 1,500. And I was like, and I was like, no, wait a minute, time out. I was like, you asking for this kind of money, like 3,000 to sign a document for 1 acre too? It was like 1 acre. It's like, So anyway, he got angry at me. Him and my friend, they decided, they agreed on like a couple 2,000. So, they agreed on 2,000 cities, and I was still, so it started off about, if you translate that to dollars, it started off at about over $600 that they wanted to sign this document. And, they agreed on about 350. I guess that's what it came down to. And I still was like, no, that's wrong. I was like, that is wrong. And I was telling the chief. And so he got so angry that he was talking about he would fight me. Told me to be, I'm like, you want to fight me? So, I just started laughing. I was like, that's a sign you're wrong. And I know, a lot of people just tell me to, just forget. I mean, it wasn't mine, but I'm just letting them know that was wrong. And this is how some of these guys abuse their powers. And, we become our own worst enemies, but we always pointing the finger at other people for causing our problems. But a lot of times we're our own worst enemies. And, so at any rate, I was just flabbergasted that they would just ask for that kind of money to sign a document. And within about 3 days, I get a surprise. Is the charcoal burning had started back on the chief's pride. And this time, it wasn't just no burning charcoal, but it's like big piles. So I'm actually going to go over here and see just how big the piles are of charcoal. So I don't want to assume that he started burning those charcoals back because he got angry at me, and that was an easy way to get back at me, and he knew that I disliked that. I don't want to make that assumption, but it's like in 3 days' time, after we had our little fallout, boy, and he was angry as all get out, then the charcoal, I mean, you heard the people up there, chop, chop, chop. They was chopping down trees like machines, chop, chop, and then we looked over, a couple days later, they had these two big, huge piles burning. So I'm going to go up here and we're going to take a look at it, okay? I'm going to come back with you. Okay, guys, so I'm over here where the charcoal, it looks like this one has, right here, it's finished burning. So it burned for about a week. These things burn for about a week. And that's what people don't understand. Once you start this charcoal making process, that thing goes for about a week, over a week, So the smoke, like it's not 24/7 coming to your house because the direction of the wind changes. But sometimes the direction is going down there, because you're on the mountain. So the dominant direction is down toward my house. So, so this one has finished burning. And it's a big pile. This is a big pile. And I'm not even going to walk. There's another one. I see the smoke that's still burning. It's a little further up. So, they might be up there or something now. But Yeah, so this is what we have is that they decided to start the charcoal making business back above my house. And like I say, I don't want to jump to conclusions and say, make assumptions, say that was the motive. Maybe the man just, needs some money and just say, hey, I need to go up there and make some charcoal or something. But, it was awfully close, and especially after we spoke about it, I guess I spoke to him about it at least 2 times, maybe 3 times, and even had a couple of the neighbors reach out and speak to him about it as well. So yeah, so, even if he needed some money to do some things, why not do what I asked him earlier, which was to have his people move like a little bit over down here, so that when the smoke blows, it wouldn't be blowing directly at the house, just out of courtesy, and this is what, it kind of frustrates me here, because before I came here, none of this was really accessible and reachable, because there was no road here. So it was just all thick bushes and forests and trees. And I put that road in there and didn't ask them for 1 cent. Didn't ask them for 1 peso. I put the road in. And once I put the road in, all the land began to sell. Just like hotcakes. Woo, woo, woo. My friend, the Ghanaian, he's a Ghanaian, he purchased like 40 acres over here because we moved here. And he said, Eric, I know the land is going to appreciate. And all the people that they brought here, that the chief was bringing here, they were asking me, was it okay? So I'm the one who convinced them to buy the land. They ask me now, I don't give any referrals for this land. I don't recommend it. I tell them, I'm just straight up with it. If you want to buy, but these are the problems I have with them. So, yeah. So, at any rate, I was like the #1 fan in helping them sell this stuff, right? Because when they go to sell it, they would be saying, oh, Dio Bruni, that's what they call the white people, Bruni, but they call me that because of my accent and because I'm from the U.S. But they say, oh, Dio Bruni, he built on the hill, you should buy. So that's how they would be selling the properties. And I didn't mind, I give them a good word. Folks come up there and ask me about it, and I'll help them sell the property. I didn't ever once ask them for 1 peso when they sold all this property. I didn't ask them for 1 peso when I put that road in. And even the road, it would wash out like once a year. The whole road wash out. And so you need money to go and fix it. And the last time it washed out, I asked a few people, the owners, to help, and the chief and them to help. Let's fix the road together. You know how much they gave me? They gave me like, between everybody, it was like 400 cedis. That's less than $100. And I gave that money back to them, I gave that money back. But this is what you get. But, at this point, it's just frustrating to see that as much as I've put into this place, that, they would still want to come in and be dishonest and manipulative and nickel and dime you to death, over a signature. You're going to charge somebody 600, like granted, even my neighbor who owns this property now, she's Ghanaian, and the husband is Rasta, that's Ras Leo, and her family, she comes from one of the royal families, so she knew how much. So, I told her how much the chief was trying to charge. He said, Eric, that should have been 500 cedis. They shouldn't have charged, for 1 acre to sign that paperwork. They shouldn't have charged you, they shouldn't have asked you for your friend for no more than 500 cedis. I said, see, They asked for like 3,500 cities, and they agreed on two. Did she say? Said, So that's what you have, you know. And then when I was selling my house, of course, if you look at my old video, you see that where I think one of the videos that I was telling how they wanted, when I sold the house, they were talking about I supposed to pay them 20% of whatever I sold it for, and then they say because the buyer, oh, she's Ghanaian, then we'll just charge you 10%. And, you know, and I barked at that. And, you know, and the buyers was like, hey, you know, they didn't want to create no real confrontation or conflict because they still got to live here. They got children. And I understand. But, you know, at that point, I told them it was wrong too, but to actually try to keep everything semi-cordial, this is what I told them, because I had, at that point, you know, earlier, I had all of this land reserved. I had a down payment for this land going all the way over to where the chief is now. And that's 10 acres. So aside from my 5 acres that I was selling, I had 10 acres reserved here. And I had already put a down payment of like 10,000 cedis on that property, on this property. And so once I told them that, you know, I was no longer interested in the property, I was like, you know, I'm no longer, because I had already had just been kind of feeling a kind of funny way that, you know, I wasn't feeling a lot of things that they were doing. So I was just going to give this property up and move on and to develop the community. So to keep everybody cool, when they started asking for this money, and I told them no, when I was selling that property, I wasn't going to give them any money. So what I did is I said, okay, here's the deal. You guys have 10,000 cedis of mine, and I'm not going to buy this property anymore. I said, you keep that 10,000 cedis. I said, there you go. We even. Keep the 10,000 cedis. I'm gone. And do you know, after all of that, when the buyers was telling them that, you know, Eric looking for over 100 cities to do a development on. They tried to convince me to come in and take 100 acres or more here in a development after all that foolishness. And I just laughed to myself that, man, you guys have to be kidding me. But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't recommend this area of to anybody anymore, you know, just based on, and I'm not the only one who feels like this. You know, people might think I'm overreacting or emotional, but I know other chiefs. I know the chief nearby. I know them, and I didn't ask him. I didn't say anything to him about what happened, but we were talking one day, and he said, yeah, you know, he said, our people aren't like those people over there. I was like, what you mean? And then, like, you know, they full of conflict. Like, he said, we don't have all these land conflicts like they got. He's like, we don't even do that, you know. We more peaceful. He's like, you know, those people have too many problems over there. He said, so I didn't tell him. I didn't even tell him about what we were going through. But he's like, he read my mind and knew that you having some issues with them people, ain't you? Yeah. So anyway, you know, so I'm very disappointed, you know. I mean, I decided, you know, I ain't making no big deal of it because I got too much that I have to do over in our development. That's a ways off. But, you know, this is the thing that you can go through when you're purchasing land, people, and trying to, I have people, and people might think that, oh, Eric, you just making video and you're showing gun in a bad. No, I'm not showing gun in a bad light. I still, like I say, I got all of my investment egg invested here in Ghana, right? Everything. So I believe in it, but I believe that we have to root out the foolishness and we have to set some things in order if we want to be successful. And that's what I'm helping, because when we come over here, contrary to popular belief, we don't have this unlimited amount of money, and we're just bringing ourself over here, and we have a limited amount of money, and every mistake we make that's going to cost us a few $1,000s, then we can lose that money so quickly. So I'm trying to stop people from losing their money when they come over here and prepare them. Yeah, sure, I know my way around the system now, but I had to learn that, and I had to lose money to learn it. And I lost a lot of money having to learn the system. I had lost a lot of money trying to learn how to import things and through customs. I lost a lot of money trying to learn how to go through land registration. I lost a lot of money in various aspects. And most people can't afford to do that. Most people could not have afforded to have lost as much money as I've lost here trying to learn the system. So that's what, when I make these videos, that's what I'm trying to warn you guys about, some of the things that are going to be cost you money. When I get calls and emails from people crying, saying, you know, they didn't tell me this and I lost this money, and they have no choice but to go back to the US or the UK or wherever they come from because they're staunch broke. I'm trying to prevent that. And I just got a call just last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, from one of the people in our network, young lady, and she was like, you know, Eric, I had to pay for my land twice. They started working on the house and put the walls up. The whole walls crumbled in. I guess, you know, maybe they didn't have the rebar in there or whatever. Whole walls crumbled down. Had to fix that. She said, so it's been frustrating. She said, I had to go back to the U.S. to work for Uber to pay off this stuff. She said, so it hasn't been a pleasant process, you know. So it can be difficult, guys. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. You know, people don't like when I, you know, so I know some of you right now are going to send me these messages talking about, oh, you ought to do it like that. Yeah, and you won't get judged. You ought to do it. And I'm telling you, it's not that simple. Like, you know, most people can't afford to take one hit even. Now, yeah, so just understand, guys, that it can be an interesting journey. Now, I'm not saying that this doesn't happen in other places, a developing country. Realize that. And you're working with the virgin land. There's a lot of unknowns, guys. And this is why, you know, we're trying to cut through a lot of those unknowns and just give you a fair property, a fair home at a fair price in our community. And we know what it costs to build here. We know what things cost here. So if you think that, hey, migrating culture crossing is expensive, okay, you try it yourself and you tell me what you come up with, right? You try it. Try it. You go over there, you build your house, you put a road in, you deal with, you know, and it's not just foreigners like coming from the diaspora, you know, who are saying it, but it's also Ghanaians who are telling me this. Ghanaians as well. I just opened up a message this morning. Somebody, a Ghanaian living in the U.S. saying that they having problems with land guards. I said, yeah, you know, they got some property here having problems with land guards. Like, you know, I can't do nothing for you, boss. You know, that ain't nothing I can do anything about, you know. Only thing I can tell you is to come over there to migrating culture crossing. You won't have no problem with land guards. I'm not trying to go behind and you know, solve everybody's problems. You know, I can tell you that we're building a community at migrating culture crossing, and you're not going to have these type of problems. I can assure you, you're not going to have problems with people burning charcoals around you. You're not going to have problems with land guards. You're not going to have problems with people asking you for 1,000 cedis, however much, to sign a document. Come on, people. I mean, in the U.S., when you go to buy property, you have closing costs. That's true enough. But if you're going to sit here and you're going to make this okay, then why not the Lands Commission set some perimeters around these and the amount of money that they can ask for? Because you know, when I brought up to the chief that that was wrong for them to be charging that kind of money, trying to charge that kind of money to that man to sign those, then he started talking about, well, what if something happened to me? That was a threat. What if in these documents, because you have to give them all your original documents. And you know how long it already take you 1 or 2 years to even get the documents. And then they got all the documents. They got to take them to the people and bring them back. And so now he's telling, well, what if something happened to me and something happened to these documents? Basically, he's telling you, what if I lose these documents? Huh, you don't want to give me what I'm telling you. You don't want to give me this money. I'm extorting you, and you don't want to give me this money. What if I lose your documents? Where would that leave you then? To start this process all over again? Man, something's got to give. We got to get this right, you know. So I know, hey, things aren't as structured here, and it's a work in progress, but rest assured that along the way, I'm going to be one to try and tell people that this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed, right? You can call me what you want to. You say what you want to about me. But when I see right is right and wrong is wrong, I don't care what color you is. I don't care what your tribe is, where you're from. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't care about none of all those other variables that you guys care about. I just care about either you're right or you're wrong. That's all I care about. So at any rate, yeah. So I'm going to go back down this hill. You know, I just looked up here and just see another smokestack burning. So they got somebody burning charcoal over here. And they got this one, they got that one. So, you know, hey, knock themselves out, you know. It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, if you like what we're talking about, you know, you have issues like this. You know, I'm not saying also that, you know, this is a thing where all the chiefs are bad. All the chiefs aren't bad. And I agree with the system that they have where the chiefs kind of help control the land, make sure the land don't fall into the hands of the bankers. I kind of like that system. I just think that, you know, just like anything else, you have people who abuse the system, and you need to be staunch on calling that out. Don't just be, you know, well, all the chiefs are good, all the chiefs are bad. No, it's not all are good or all the bad. You got some bad ones, you got some good ones, you know. Let's try to root out the bad ones, and so that we have more in there that are doing the right thing, you know. So at any rate, you like what we're talking about, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, you know, give me your feedback. And you can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Eric McNeil. It's free. And as always, hoorah, ahuru. Now be free. Guys, I just had to come back to you and say, I'm walking back down this same road that I was talking about for my neighbors. Man, and this incline is so steep, I can't even stop. I'm just walking down the road and I can barely stop. I know if a vehicle is crazy enough to come up this road, man, they're going to go flying off this mountain like it's nothing. So, yeah, this thing is very, very steep. Wow. I just had to come back and tell you that, boy. Yeah, anyway, go figure. All right, peace.